Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well on this. Well, this is coming to you tomorrow, technically. So the Premier League season here right now hasn't started, but by the time you get this, Liverpool would have already played. This is my Premier League predictions though. If you didn't catch the last video that was uploaded, which was the massive Chelsea Avenger link up where myself, George Benson, Nini, Matisse, Josh and Joey Knight all linked up. We done a video on each of our channels and my one was uploaded yesterday. So when you see this, so you're seeing this now on the Saturday. It was uploaded yesterday on the Friday. So make sure you go and have a look. I'll leave a link right here. Go and have a look if you haven't seen it already. It was 34 minutes of absolute pandemonium. So go and have a look. But this is the Premier League predictions. We're going to go through the Premier League table and how I think it's going to finish from 20th all the way up until 1st. So without further ado, let's not waste any time and let's jump right in. This is the official Premier League table predictor. And I thought, you know what, why get graphics and whatnot where you can just get this and just flip and play along. So let's go. Predict the 25-26 league table. Hold, drag and drop teams below. Okay, so at the bottom, I've already got an idea of who's finishing last. Let's bring Leeds all the way down. Sorry Leeds, but you're finishing last. Burnley, where are you? Burnley. We're gonna fly through this pretty quickly up until we get to the top 10, I feel like, because it's always like that. And we're never gonna be 100% right. Let me just put that out there now. Any Premier League prediction video that you see is always wrong. No one gets it right. So we might as well just go along. Leeds and Burnley. Leeds, I don't think have done enough business. I don't think I've done enough in order to get them to stay up. They've got Calvert-Lewin. That's it. That's not going to be enough. Burnley have actually done a little bit better, but still not enough. Ugochukwu, Broja. Sunderland, though, I am put in to go back down. Sunderland, I feel like, have done enough preparation and enough homework in order to get themselves a stronger team to start the Premier League season compared to the team that they ended the season with in the Championship. So Sunderland, for me, stay up. I am going to go with a surprise. Yeah, a surprise relegated team. I'm going Brentford. They've lost everybody. Let's just be honest. They've lost absolutely everybody. Thomas Frank and Buemo. Wissa could be on the way out. There's no one left. There's absolutely no one left. So for me, I think it's a no-brainer. I reckon Brentford go down. Their set-piece coach, who was promoted not long ago to become assistant to Thomas Frank, is now their manager. So in the space of one calendar year, this man's gone from set-piece coach to manager. No, I'm sorry, but I feel like Brentford have too many holes and I think they go down. Wolves will come close, but I think they'll just survive. 17th. I am going Sunderland in 16th. I'm not going to think that they're just going to fly up the table or anything, no, but I do think they survive. Who else? I think there's going to be some teams here. Actually, Forest. No, I'm not gonna disrespect Forest like that. I'm not going to. Bournemouth come down to around here, 15th. West Ham in 14th. That sounds about right, I would think. Everton could. Nah, Fulham. Fulham in 13th. Palace. It's got to be in it. Look, there's teams now that I think are going to struggle overall, and I think this kind of sets itself up. And I'll tell you why. Crystal Palace in 10th. I am going to go with Everton just ahead of them in 11th. My logic here, look, Crystal Palace should be finishing higher, but they've got European football now, and I feel like this is going to be novel to them. This is going to be completely new. They've not been there and done it. When they realise how packed out the schedule is going to be, they're going to suffer in the league. And this goes for some other teams too. Forest and Newcastle, I think, will also suffer. Maybe not as much, but Palace definitely, I think, are going to have to stay in the bottom half of the table just for that. If not, they would probably be in the top half. But Who else? Who are Brighton? No, Brighton will be there. Brighton will be there. I'm going to go with... Let's put Brighton down. They might lose Baleba as well, so they've got another rebuild to go through, which means that I think they're going to be down there in 10th. That sounds about right for them. I think Forest go down into 9th. Forest, who were in European spots, but now are going to be playing Europa League, they're going to suffer in the league, similarly to how Newcastle will also suffer. But Newcastle, I think, will be just a little bit ahead. I don't think Newcastle will be back in the Champions League spot. I'll explain that in a sec. But Nottingham Forest, I feel like, even in terms of the market, I don't think they're going to have the numbers in the squad to maintain getting results in the Premier League and also going far in the Europa League. I think they'll have a good Europa League run. I'm predicting that they might make the last 16 quarter-final and then they'll get knocked out, but they'll suffer in the league. That's my prediction overall for Nottingham Forest. They will not be qualifying for Europe next season. I think this is it. Unless they go all the way and win the Europa League, who knows? We might get Forest back in the Champions League, but I feel like that teams, especially under FFP now, are restricted in terms of going and getting exactly what they need to bolster the squad so quickly in order for them to be able to compete in the in European competition, not Champions League, European competition and the Premier League, unless you're one of the big boys. And this is why this whole FFP PSR argument to make it fairer, I don't think it does. I still think big clubs have an advantage. Big clubs are big clubs. You can't take it away from them. Some people are scared if you just get rid of FFP, then it's just going to be all guns blazing. Well, it kind of is already. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like as long as business is done right, there's always going to be demand from top clubs for players that are going to be sold. And that money will always be used in order to get the best because they are the big clubs. You've not really changed much. Do you know what I mean? Teams can still go out and splash 500-600 million. They're just going to have to sell a little bit, which they do. That doesn't change the quality coming into the team. And people just look and go, it's fairer. I disagree. Personally, I disagree. I think it actually hinders the capabilities of a small team becoming a big team. I think everyone's restricted. But that's a debate for a different day. Anyway, if that rule wasn't in place, an owner like Malikanis at Forest, is that his name? Will be able to just go, okay, look, we're splashing. Here's the money. Boom, 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 boom. And get themselves up to a level. And maybe break the top 6. They can't do that. Anyway, Nottingham Forest, I feel like will suffer because of that. I am going to go Man United 8th. Or actually, no, I'm not going to disrespect United too much here. Man United in 8th. The jump up from 15th is going to be there, but don't expect miracles. Man United as an institution are still all over the place. And like the news was saying, they're not going to go in for Baleba, it seems. They're going to be starting the season with holes in their squad, still. I think in terms of in goal, I still think in terms of their defence, and I think in terms of their midfield. They've bolstered their attack, but that's not going to do too much for them. They're still going to leak at the back, and I still think they're going to have the defensive issues that they did last season. If they topped up on the midfield, and this is why, look, with Baleba, even if it's 100 million, they should have gone in. Man United apparently now will not be going in. Well, you have to get someone. Do you know what I mean? Just getting Cunha and Mbeumo and Sesko isn't going to fix the problem. United as a whole, as a club, are keeping players back, and I feel like Amorim still has his hands tied to an extent on what he can possibly do with this Man United team. I'm not expecting miracles from them, and that's why, yes, they come up from 15th, but they only get up to 8th, because there are teams above them that are simply better than them. End of story. That's just the truth. So, we'll see how the season pans out. I could be wrong. Maybe Man United just all of a sudden start flying, but I just don't see a world where that happens because of the reasons that I've told you. I would go Newcastle 7th. Newcastle, I think, suffer now. Especially if they lose Isak. Yes, they might get Jackson, or they might get... even they're replacing Callum Wilson. There's still holes in that team too. Yes, they're going to be getting in Jacob Ramsey. Yes, they've got in Elanga. Yes, they've got some players in, but is that going to be enough for Newcastle to do well in the league and in the Champions League? No, I don't think it is. The depth in the squad simply isn't there in terms of quality, and that is why I am going Newcastle 7th. I think the teams above them all have an advantage. If Newcastle were not playing European football, then yes, I could bump them up higher, just like they did last season. But in order to deal with the load, I honestly think there's only one team in this league that has changed from last season to this season to be able to handle European competition and the Premier League at a high standard. And I'll get to that later, and you guys should know who that is. In 6th, I am going to go Spurs. Spurs, similar reason. I could bump them up higher, and I think they do have a good base. They do have a good foundation. They proved that against PSG, but Spurs are Spurs. The bottling is the bottling. The bottle will always bottle. It's as simple as that. So, with Champions League football as well, yeah, I think there's going to be times in the league when they're just going to suffer. They're just going to throw it in the bin. Yes, they've done some business. But Spurs, I just don't think have the mentality, and I don't think they have the expertise at the highest level to be able to maintain Champions League football and Premier League football all at the same time. There will be moments from Tottenham, which is why I'm not sending them back down all the way to 17th like they finished last season. No, they will be in the midst. They will be in the top 6 again. But everyone above is simply stronger than them, and everyone knows it. And that includes Aston Villa, who I've put in 5th. And why? Because Aston Villa, under Unai Emery, I feel like are able to create something out of nothing at times. They're that team. Tactically, in terms of organisation, in terms of shape, Aston Villa can be a hard team to beat. It's not anyone that can go to Villa Park and get a job done, for example. And I feel like with Aston Villa, and obviously they wanted Champions League football, they didn't get it. That's going to play an advantage to them in the Premier League as compared to teams like Tottenham. So which is why I feel like the standard that they have at their club, the level that they have in their team, is going to be enough with Unai Emery to get them up into 5th. But no one breaks the top 4. No one. The top 4 for me is sorted. It's sorted. Aston Villa though, respectable 5th. The top 4. This speaks for itself. I'm going Arsenal in 4th. Arsenal are a team at the moment where there are loads of people, surprisingly, looking at them to win the league. I don't see it. And I'm not talking in terms of just a Chelsea guy here. No, I'm talking honestly. I don't see how do they win the league. They might come close. They will be in the race, but they do not get it over the line. They got Gyökeres, cool. They got Madueke. They might not get Eze. Is that it? Do you know what I mean? When you're looking at the business that other teams have done here, Arsenal haven't transformed themselves into the team that is able to just take on anyone in this league. Yes, they can take on most, but anyone, I'm talking about the big boys that you can see on the screen right now, I think Arsenal are just not as good. And I feel like Arsenal have this thing, especially under Arteta. They just won't get the job done. When push comes to shove and it comes to really getting across the line, they just won't get it done. They'll come close, but they won't get it done. So no, I feel like they might be 1st, 2nd or 3rd at times of the season, yes. But overall, they're not going to get the job done. I don't feel like it's going to happen. No chance. So for me, they go back down to default. They go to what we used to know them for. 4th. Lovely. I'm going Man City in 3rd. Man City have done a lot of business. Man City have bolstered. Man City respectfully have actually transformed, have transitioned very quickly. They went into a stinker, and in a short space of time, using the back end of last season and coming into this season, they've signed how many players and gotten rid of how many players. They have shifted the entire team from head to toe, and they've done it really well. They've spent really well. They've got in some top quality. Shirky, Reinders, players that have just come in as well, and they're looking to get rid. Why? Because they're looking apparently to go and get a Rodrigo. They might be about to get Donnarumma. Edison is on his way out. They are transforming completely. That is a strong team. You can't argue. That is a strong team. But is the chemistry there? I don't think it will be. And I'll tell you another thing. When I say I don't think it will be, I say yet. I think Man City maybe next season could be someone you look at and go, you know what, they might win the league. But we'll see how they turn out. However, Pep Guardiola and the way that he gets his teams to play now, or his style, I don't want to say it's been sussed out, but it's more predictable than it used to be. There is a blueprint on how to at least restrict Man City compared to how it used to be. And I feel like that is going to be an advantage to teams that have the quality and depth in order to take on a team like Man City. And I think they do a job against Man City. But Man City will be strong and they will be there. However, the other two, I think, will be ahead of them. When I say the other two, who are they? Liverpool and Chelsea. So who is going to win the league? I think it's only fair I'm going to do it. I don't care. I'm shameless. I'm going to do it. And I'm not doing it out of the sense of, I just hope it's going to happen. I'm going to tell you my gut feeling here. This isn't really going to go into too much analysis on this. I'm going to tell you just what my gut is telling me. My gut, Liverpool are the favourites. Let me just put that out there. Liverpool are the favourites. Easily. They're the Premier League champions. They have spent ridiculously. They have brought in some top quality. They have bolstered their title-winning team. But I think they'll struggle. When I say struggle, they're not going to finish fifth. I'm not saying struggle as in, oh my God, we're going to see a collapse. People are expecting Liverpool to run away with it. I don't see it happening. There's something within me telling me, despite what they've spent, Florian Wirtz, Frimpong, Kerkez, obviously they might bring in Isak, Ekitike. Something tells me they just won't blend as much as people are expecting them to blend. They'll win games. They'll be in the title race. They'll go all the way to the final day. But will they win the league? I think overall as a squad, Chelsea offer more. Now, I think Chelsea offer more. In terms of the group dynamic, Liverpool have brought in some big personalities, have spent a lot of money, but now it's about getting them to play with each other. Chelsea already have a squad that we can see with our eyes, clear as day, that can play together. We know it already. The chemistry is already there. The combinations are already there. Tactically, they're already looking good. We are already at that point. Even with the new signings that many of us, myself included, looked and went, I'm not so sure about that one. We're all expecting João Pedro to light it up already. Estebal's going to light it up already. Palmer's going to have more space to just do what he wants. But there's already things, and there's more players coming in, Xavi Simons and Garnacho and all of these, but there's already something there that tells us, yo, these lot are deadly. With Liverpool, you anticipate that because of the money spent and the names brought in, but are they actually deadly? I think defensively, depends if they get Marc Guehi as well, to be honest. If they do, then fair play. But I think going forward, Liverpool will be strong. Defensively, there might be holes. Similar to how it was under Klopp, I think. Your Arne Slot is a lot more structured at the back. But I feel like there'll be ways in. Maybe through their fullbacks. Maybe Frimpong, Kerkez. That is beatable. You know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm going Chelsea to nab it. I'm going Chelsea to win it. And like I said, Liverpool are the favourites. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool did win it. But I think, push come to shove, from start to finish, I think Chelsea have the most cohesive squad and I say squad, even with Champions League football, we've got the best depth. Easily. So I'm going with us. Now, on top of that, what I will say is Chelsea's reason to not win the league will simply be down to fitness. It'll be because we didn't have a break. Club World Cup, we won that. 2 weeks off, come back, pre-season, 2 games, all of a sudden starting the league. We're fit. Right now, we're fit. We're fitter than anyone else. But come to Christmas, come to January, come to February, are we going to start struggling? Maybe. But we also have the squad. We also have the depth. So we might be able to keep it going. Let's wait and see. And hopefully the minutes get managed and hopefully everyone is going to be okay and there's no injuries, which is what I am anticipating, to be honest. But I think Chelsea go all the way. At the bare minimum, I think we finish second. But I want to say we do have what it takes to win the league. So I'm going to put us to win the league. Finally, after nearly 10 years. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree with this? Do you disagree? I'd love to know. There's the league table in all its glory for you to take a look one last time. What do you think on this? Let me know. And I will catch all of you for the preview. Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Now, when is that going to be uploaded? I will have to... Whether you get that today, technically it's the upload date today, or you get that first thing Sunday morning when I'm back, because I'm flying back, keep your eyes peeled. But there will be a watch-along for the Chelsea Crystal Palace game, and there will be a match review straight after. So make sure you guys are all there for that. Much appreciated, and I will catch all of you then. So subscribe, notification bell on, let me know your predictions in the comments below, and I will catch all of you soon. Have a good one, people. Look after yourselves in a bit. Take care. And by the way, take this in. It's one of the last times you're going to see it for a little while. And then don't worry, it'll be back. But back to familiar surroundings when we get to the watch-along. So make sure you're here for it. Subscribe, like I said, and I'll catch all of you soon. In a bit, take care and peace.